Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Salt Strong Nation, we are back. A special presentation from one of our members, Bill Olsen, who's got over 2,000 of his own personal catches logged in here on Smart Fishing Spots. And he's using the filter system in a really, really cool and unique way. It sent us an email. I was like, hey guys, I got to share what I'm doing. I know you shared some of this stuff at a chapter meeting and they want you to come present and show even more. Really, really valuable. I think a lot of people mistake Smart Fishing Spots for, oh, it's for beginners who just don't have any spots. And that's certainly helpful. And not just for beginners, just anyone who's not consistent, right? I mean, I've met people who've been fishing for a decade and they still can't catch fish consistently because they still go to the same 3 or 4 spots. Amazing for that, the Smart Fishing Spots. And then we have layers like oysters and the contra lines, et cetera, that are a little bit more intermediate and into advanced. And then you have people who are using, like Bill does, that is documenting. I know you said 2,000, but you've caught way more fish in the last couple of years than that. You're only documenting like the good ones. And he's using it to filter where he should be fishing, essentially looking for patterns. Really, really brilliant. So wanted to just bring Bill on and kind of show some of this. And at the end, we'll show how to find all the spot dissections, the insider reports, the community reports. And there's hundreds of thousands of different spots and even like on the water fishing reports that are available to our members like you. Hopefully, if you're watching, you're a member. If you're not, what the heck you waiting on? Come join us today. And so we'll go over all of that inside of Smart Fishing Spots. So Bill, welcome to the show, dude.
Well, thanks guys for having me. I couldn't be more excited to be here. As I was saying, as we were talking earlier, I've been fishing for basically 3 years. I make the joke, I lived here full-time in Florida for 8 years, and there's 3 things for old guys to do. I don't like golf. I think pickleball and tennis are really kind of silly. So that really left fishing right for what to do. Yeah. I'm kind of going a little nuts. My wife says it's beyond a hobby, it's an obsession. Yeah, you're here in my garage, in which I put an air conditioner in, so it's my man cave, and I do spend a lot of time preparing. I want to go fishing as much as I can. I still work, but I don't want to go fishing. I want to go catching. And there's a big difference. So every bit of technology, and even though I'm an old guy in my 60s now, I love technology. I work in technology, and I think in the right way, technology can have a lot of benefits. And there's a lot of talk about AI and artificial intelligence and some of the things that it can do. But old school logging is key. And when I started getting into fishing, studying what the legends were doing. What does a guide do? How does a guide learn? How does a guide put a customer on fish every single time? Well, a lot of them will write it all down, right? They wrote it all down. Before we had computers and navigation systems and GPSs, they would write it down. They'd know on this tide, the fish were here. With this wind, the fish were here. And then over a decade, 2 decades, a lifetime, they built a book of knowledge. Well, I started fishing 3 years ago. I wish I started 40 years ago and I had the time to be with everybody else. I don't. I have a limited time left. I want to catch as many fish as I possibly can. You know, I was fishing with Tony once and he said the tug is the drug. I've never heard that before. I'm that new to this whole thing. Yeah, it really is the drug for me. It really became something I become obsessed with. So when I joined the club, I immediately started thinking about how I could use Smart Fishing Spots. And in the early days, the basic logging was there, but it was log the fish, didn't recognize the fish. It didn't use AI to figure out, is this a snook or a trout or a redfish? But it would have the logs, they would have the GPS coordinates. But you guys started capturing the weather, right? So we know what the tide was, what the wind was, whether it was sunny and so on and so forth. So with, you know, you exaggerated a little bit, Joe. I've caught more than 2,000 fish. I've only logged about 1,700 fish in the book. So you know, I know all fishermen lie, but I'll be honest, if someone's doing the math, adding up all the yellow boxes here, it's not going to get up to 2,000.
That's either way. That's really impressive for just a couple of years, by the way. That's awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of the reports are slams too. Like I didn't realize you're only fishing for 3 years. Like you're constantly putting up slams, which for anybody not familiar, it's redfish, snook, and trout all in the same day. And he's usually doing short windows and catching slams. That's and with lures too, I believe most of them.
Yeah, I am not a live bait guy. I don't have the patience for it. I don't know how people could sit there and wait for the fish to come to the bait. I got to be casting. So, Luke, we talked about this last year. I've gone like lightweight to no end. I mean, the rods that I've got the slot machines or the reels. Some of the reels that I purchased are from JDMs that they weigh nothing. They're 6 ounces or less. So between the rod, the whole thing, if you're going to cast 1 million times an hour, your arm's getting tired. So we're getting off course here. So let's say I want to catch fish. So how I could do it. So putting all the stuff together and logging it is key. But what you guys released a couple of weeks ago in the filters really is a game changer for me, because I have Onyx Hunt for the screens. I use Google Earth. I have all the imagery possibly to find what I'm looking at to see what goes on. And we have the 1 foot contour lines and the multiple screens as well, and the tides. But what's key is now that I can actually use the weather prediction against yesterday's or the last year's or the last several months catches and figure out what's going on. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we are on the screen, and I'll keep it zoomed out so I don't give all my spots away, but I'll zoom in a second so people can get a little clarity on like how I break down 329 and 111 into different things. But what we're looking at here is like, so I'm going to go fishing tomorrow morning. So my alarm's already set for 4 a.m. So I'll be on the water right around 5. All right. I got to go to work. So I'll be off the water probably around 10 or so in the morning. So I'll have 4.5, 5 hours of fishing to go. I don't want to waste that time. I want to go where the fish are going to be, knowing what the pattern is or what the pattern could be. So tomorrow I'm going to be fishing an incoming tide. And I have the wind's going to be north, northwest, or north, coming from the north, and maybe switching over to the northeast, maybe just as I'm getting off the water. But for the most part, it's going to be coming this way, either from the north or from the northwest. So I can immediately then say, all right, with that in mind, and all my catches, I can go over to the filters in the upper right-hand corner, and I can say, all right, let's get rid of all the tides. So I'm going to be fishing an incoming tide. And now you see all of the numbers over here changed. It immediately changed. I'm now looking at just the fish that I've caught on an incoming tide. But now let's take a look at the wind direction. And I could say, all right, now where's coming from the north and maybe from actually I said the northeast, right? So I'll get rid of the northwest. So coming from the northeast. So I'll get rid of this box so that we have the full screen and a little bit brighter. So now I have a clue of where I can go. Now, in my backyard, I'm lucky enough to live within 15 minutes or less of 3 ramps. I could be at 4 ramps in 20 minutes. I can go all the way up to Long Point, or I can go all the way down to Fort Pierce and Stan Blum, and I have the ramps in between on the east coast of Florida, which is where we are here, if you haven't figured that out yet by looking at the map. But if I want to take a look here and zoom in a little bit, I can start to see that if I go south, I normally put in or down here. If I go south, not a lot of activity going on unless I go way, way south. So I got to go all the way down to Round Island. So if I'm going to put in here at the Vero Beach Dog Park, I shouldn't go south. I should definitely go north. If I'm going to put in the Wabasso ramp, I shouldn't go south. I should definitely go north. Now, I fished pretty much every spot here. So there were maybe a fish here, and I may have caught them on an outgoing tide, or I might have caught them on a different wind. But tomorrow, where I should be headed is right here. And if I want to actually take a quick look and say, maybe the Wabasso tide station, maybe I should change it and push down a little bit. If I just start grabbing the map, you see the tide station changed to the Vero Beach. And the tides are a little bit synced, but still going to be an incoming tide. The wind is still going to be coming from the northwest. I did say northwest. The wind's still going to be coming from the northwest and the north. So I still have my plan. But that gives me a real quick clue. The next thing I have to think about is moon, right? Tomorrow, I know new moon coming up quickly, so there'll be a lot more tide movement around. But that's okay. I'm not a complete believer in the moon yet, where the majors and the minors, and we do have that, here down at the bottom, the 2 fish is, a major, the 1 fish is a minor. If there's 3 fish, it's a really big major, and that kind of thing. I haven't got all of my stuff to completely align to believing in that yet. But just in this pattern, now I can tell you for a fact, the last 3 trips since you put this on, 100% success. Every single place I pulled into, I caught a fish. Every single place. Now, I didn't catch a trophy everywhere that I went, but I caught a targeted species. I caught a snook, a redfish, or a trout, amongst other things inside. For whatever the reason, I keep catching the convicts. What are they called? The fish?
Sheepshead.
Sheepshead. I keep catching them on artificials. I don't know why, but they keep biting my artificials. Maybe it's I still have a large container of Dr. Juice left. So I know this is going to be, this is gold for a while because it's not going to be
liquid gold.
Yeah, liquid gold. Maybe that's what they like. But I wanted to share this with you because if you're struggling and you have pictures of your fish, you can upload them up, even if they're from 3 or 5 or 20 years ago, right? As long as the camera and most modern cameras in the last 10 years will track all the GPS location. And all of that GPS location, you guys can go with make the calls to the other technologies that you guys are paying for. That's part of our $97 a year, by the way, which is a wicked bargain. You counted how many tools this replaces, all of the apps and whatnot, multiple times before. But this is unbelievable so if you have pictures, upload them. Start to look at this and build your patterns. So like I said, I wanted to share this because to me, this is unbelievably valuable.
Yeah,
I'll just explain those pins too, because a lot of people have never seen this. And so those little dots, the orange dots are actually a collection of a grouping of different pins. And each of those is just all he does is just upload a picture, and with the metadata, it plots the location. And so it'll put a pin on the location. It'll pull in all the weather and tidal data. Again, that's like Bill said, going back 5 years. So even if you haven't started at all, you can upload the last 3 years of pictures, and it'll automatically put it on the map, and it'll automatically pull in the weather and tides, and then allow you to start filtering like what's just shown. And we're actually going to be adding a species filter as well, where AI is looking at the image and can see if it's a red, snook, trout, cobia, whatever the case is. This is, again, I used to do it by hand for many years back in the day, so I'm like pinching myself every time I'm able to just simply upload pictures, and it's all on the map. It's pretty cool.
So if you take a look at this picture right here, this was from the other morning, right? This is from May 13th, 6:07 in the morning, after I lost 2 overslot fish. So you can see it was an incoming tide, and you could see the time, the weather was clear. You could see the moon, what the wind direction was, and an incoming tide. You can see that all here. And then, if you want to figure out where it was, you can screen capture the coordinates, but you could tell I'm right by the bridge, so it's not really a secret of where this particular fish was caught. But, fish have tails, so they move around, but that's the point, right? It's like where they're going to be in a certain place in a certain tide.
I think it's in... go for it, Luke.
I was going to say, in the filters too, is you can do by month or quarter. So if you're, again, it's the month of May or June, whatever month you're gonna be in, the month, tide cycle, plus wind direction, and eventually species. I mean, it's like a catch log on steroids.
Yep. And you can add. Oh, go for it, Bill.
I was going to say it's absolutely amazing, and I don't want to say how much I would pay for this in the future.
Say it again.
I want you to raise the price. Exactly. But to me, this is invaluable, So like I said, 3 for 3 since the filters came out, since I started using it this way. So.
Yeah, we've got more to come on that. Two big things that are important. One is just privacy. Just like you mentioned, Onyx, you can upload 1 billion waypoints, and it's yours only. No one else, no other user can see it. No one else can see Bill's 1,600 fishing reports, all his pictures and stuff. That's his eyes only. You do have the option if you do want to share it. Some members do share, but like you said, you could upload 2,000 pictures and have all of them go private. No one else is ever going to see it. And I mentioned waypoints. You can also add unlimited waypoints. So let's just say Bill was in one of these areas and he didn't actually catch a fish, but he saw a ton of fish. Maybe spooked him by accident. He can drop a pin right then and there and put hot redfish spot on an incoming tide, And now he has that as a waypoint as well, at least so he doesn't forget about it because he doesn't have a fish pick to associate it with.
So there are a couple other things I wanted to share that I thought of. We have a few more minutes of time. One was fishing buddies, right? Fishing with people and so on and so forth. Privacy is important. So these are private. I could share this waypoint with all members, but I have a group of buddies, right? So if we wanted to have a fishing club, a little in group or so on and so forth, I could share that as just with specific members, who I wanted to share it with, like what was going on, because where it is. The other point that I wanted to say, and to me, I think this is important. Like if we wanted to go back to the layers, right? And we were looking at here. So this is I have my filters on. I can say, hey, let's add in the smart fishing spots, right? And then that will start to show me where history and my activity has lined up. Okay. And in certain places it has lined up, and in other places it hasn't lined up. Because to me, the smart fishing spots is the place to start, right? It isn't a guarantee that there's going to be fish there, right? It's a place to start, but the conditions are going to change, right? Well, the weatherman is right. How many days a week? Right? So, exactly. So you need to know how to be able to think about it. The other thing, and this is really, really important to me, is I don't necessarily want people to tell me where they caught fish. Because why this has become an obsession, and I work in technology, and part of my roles in the past has been how to, solving problems, technical problems. The challenge of figuring this out is the best problem in the world. Why were the fish there? Wow. What made them be there? In many cases, it's as simple as the stupid bait were there. So that's why they were there, right? But in other cases, it's not always that. Why were they there, right? And the bait might not have been there, but maybe they know the bait will be there in an hour. And you were there early, but they were just there waiting for the bait to come. Maybe they were waiting out a dolphin that went by. You don't know. So you have to figure, to me, this is the ultimate problem, right? So using the technology with the thing to help me solve the problem and accelerate my ability to catch the fish faster, that's why I can't rave enough about it. And this is not a paid placement. This is just
we're about to charge you more. You said you were willing to pay more for it.
That was recorded.
Yeah, we need to erase that part. I get final edit on it, of course, on this video. So make sure. But like you said, how many tools would you actually have to use to be able to build this together, right? You need something that recognizes the fish. That's a new piece of technology. You need something that's able to make a call to the tide stations and know where they're predicting the tides tomorrow. You need something to call where the weather is going to be, right? You need something that's going to aggregate all the data. So I could just talk about the list of technology that's running in the background to be able to power this, let alone, the features that are forward facing. Like we didn't talk about seagrass or oyster beds or the 1-foot contour lines or the list goes on and on and on for the capabilities. So I'll stop talking so you guys can, add whatever you want. But
so good. And thanks to Bill, he has been instrumental in this filter that he showed earlier. And one of the things he brought up is, hey, there are times where he's trying to catch a slam where he's maybe already caught a snook and a trout and just wants to catch a redfish, to be able to filter down only redfish on incoming tide with a northwest wind. And it'll show him all his spots. And like you said, he can turn smart spots off, sync it up, see how it all looks. And it's so cool. So I believe Nick's already working on that. We obviously have the data behind, just got to make the filter a little bit better. So stay tuned. If you're watching this, and maybe it's already out by the time you watch this video, you will see some changes coming with this filter. And I want to reiterate, even if you haven't started, because some of you might be saying, oh man, I wish I had done this like Bill 2 years ago. You can go back 5 years. If you've got any fish, and we've done that with some of our old fish pictures, uploaded them ourselves. And it's like, oh man, this is awesome. I mean, some that are 5-6 years old that are automatically in there. And now I'm seeing them, from Texas when I was over there, Louisiana, all over Florida. It's really, really cool to see all that data, and not just the fish pick and in the GPS spot, but what the wind was doing and the weather was doing and the moon phase. so much data there. It's not even funny.
Yeah, and another filter to that's going to be added is even the tide height, like a negative tide. And here in the Indian River doesn't have a ton of tidal flow, but on the we have a lot of members in the Carolinas and Texas. There's a lot of tidal movement, and so knowing the fish caught at the lower part of the tide versus the top of the tide is a big deal. And just soon that's coming, that's just going to be added to the filter. Obviously, it'll be retroactive. Every picture that is submitted beforehand is just going to be grouped in, but that'll be another good addition, and we'll continue adding to it as we hear feedback from other members.
Yeah. And if anybody's wondering why June and July I catch the least amount of fish, is because this is when I often have to travel to Asia for work, which I'll be in 2 weeks in June to Asia. So, although I do think that I might be able to catch a barramundi in Bangkok, so maybe I'll do something like that, which would be fun.
Might be one of our first pins over there. Speaking of that, Luke, Bill, if you could stop sharing and Luke jump on and show how to find the spot dissections and all the community reports where people have shared. Because I don't think a lot of members know about this. I saw a newer member in the community had asked, hey, he actually screenshotted an area. It's like, hey, I saw there's a smart spot I'm fishing. Any advice? I don't see any of the fishing reports. And I was like, man, Luke did a spot dissection, which is where he gets on a map, like an actual video, and showed that exact spot. And so we've got so much data and intel here. It's not even funny. All right, Luke is...
Can you see my screen?
Yep. We got you.
All right, so I hopped over to the Gulf side, and obviously the same thing happens here. This is just the base map, and we have these layers. I'll start at the top. So here we have the satellite imagery, and scroll a little bit further down, you'll see one that's insider reports and spot dissections. And these pins, the numbers in the pin is the quantity of reports underneath there. As you can see, there's Tampa Bay. There's a ton of them. And each one of these is an actual report from one of our coaches. This one is actually me. This going back from day one, and basically goes through. And some of them are just doing a overview dissection, and then others like this, I actually went and fished it, and then did a full on the water report of that area, and a full report showing exactly where every fish was caught. And same thing, you can filter all of these by month. Let me just scroll out a little bit, so we can say if we just wanted to see the month of June. Now we can zoom out and start seeing that. Okay, here are all the reports in this area during the month of June. Pretty cool. And obviously, you can see there's a ton. I'll just kind of go around the coast. You can see there's all around.
Crazy amount. And like that one you just showed, I think half of them are like that. You don't have to go back to it, but half of them are like that, where Luke or Tony or Pat or Wyatt, someone is actually on the water fishing that spot. There's nothing else like it. To be able to see someone and see, hey, that's what the mangroves look like. You can't replace that with satellite maps or anything for that matter. It's so invaluable. All over Texas. I mean, all the way up to Virginia really is where these, I think we have some of New Jersey and Maryland kind of keep going up even past Virginia. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but where it really gets fun is when we include the community reports. Joe mentioned before that some members do just share their catch data. And watch what happens when we do that. Now the red ones are all the community reports. And as you can see, it takes a while for them to load. But they are literally all around here. This is over in Texas. Yeah, check this out. You can see that the higher population zones, they are huge numbers. And same thing, that filter works for all these as well. And I'll just kind of zoom out so you can get a little bit of perspective. But there's definitely no territory gaps from Texas along to Florida.
You gotta let it catch up.
Yeah, wait till it catches up in Tampa. You're gonna miss the entire bay. Oh yeah, now that we're grouping them, so yeah, check that out. Pretty crazy. So yeah, just the amount of data.
180 reports in the one little bubble. Crazy.
Yeah, a lot of members are in Jacksonville.
And to be clear, these are the ones that people have decided to share. So like, you won't see Bill's on here. Bill's keeps his private. That's fine. We don't care. There's some people like to share, and some people won't share the exact GPS spot. You can even just show like the area or even the city. Some of them are even that broad where they're not actually showing GPS. It's fine. We don't care what you do the way. We just want this to benefit you. And if Bill can use it and help him catch fish, like I said, 100% his last 3 times using this, I think that's amazing. And that filter, by the way, is always up at the top right. It looks like a little funnel. So just be looking for that if you haven't seen that before. It's usually up in the top right on both desktop and the mobile.
Yep. So to go much further, you can see there's a ton all up and down. And now we're getting up there in the North Carolina. So yeah, just a ton of data. And again, continually adding to it. And these filters are going to do nothing but get better and better. Cool. Well, Bill, any final words? Sounds like you are going fishing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm ready. Boat's packed, ready to go. I'm ready to go. So, actually, I'm going to go fishing right now. I'm going to go wade fishing. I got a new I got a new toy I want to go play with. So
what do you got?
I bought a Cabo. So and you know where I got it? Sportsman's Warehouse. Which is another benefit of the club, because those crazy guys put like an extra 15% off of their prices on a regular basis for whatever the reason.
Sportsman's Guide, not
whatever. But pick one. Yeah. I don't know the name.
Hey, we got to be specific because so our members, if you're a member, you get free membership to Sportsman's Guide as well. Not Sportsman's Warehouse, to be clear, but yeah, right. Sportsman's Guide. Yeah, well, that good deal. I did all my Christmas shopping there. It was amazing.
So that place put the Cabo. So they already have a lower price on it than standard, but they put it with an extra 15% off. So I bought the braid from the Fish Strong and the Cabo from that. So now, and then I got a new rod to go with it. And Luke, I was complaining to them that when you press the center button, the line isn't exactly centered in the guide. I was like, I was giving him some grief about it. I'm like, it's off by about a quarter of an inch. And he was like, well, I didn't know the exact size of your rail. I'm like, all right.
What rod is it?
It's a custom rod I had made for me out of the guys in Texas at Sawgrass.
Cool.
He put it. I know the money you guys spend, but these guides, these recoil guides, the insertless, they're ridiculous. And these double-footed ones, yeah. So when you slam them in the gunnels if you read the story from yesterday, or from yesterday's fishing outing, first cast broke off the fish, and that was 40-pound mono, and that fish broke through it because the dolphins chased him around. I think he got super nervous, and I thumbed the spool. And a little too much, and he wore through it. Reached under the gunnel, grabbed that rod, had another 5-inch bait, the bomber on it. Second cast, another monster. But that one bit 2 inches away from the mangroves, made a dart into it, and I first fish on that reel. I didn't have the drag set. He went right back into the thing. It was like zing. I went to pull hard, snap that one off. So 2 casts, 2 giant fish. In that spot, right where it was, because of the wind and the tide. Exactly. We'll see if I can repeat that tomorrow. But yeah, that's what it was.
I'll be looking for a report in the community. Well, Bill, thank you for doing this. Super helpful. And if you're a member and you have stories like this and want to share with others, let us know. It was awesome and refreshing to get emails from members and they want to come on and share some stuff like this. Really, really, really helpful. So thank you. And if you have questions, let us know. We have a community that's very, very active, and we always have, our coaches and people like Bill there, and they're just willing to help. So if you have questions uploading old pictures or whatever it is, let us know. That's community.saltstrong.com. And if you're not a member, join us. Go to saltstrong.com and you get smart fishing spots, the tackle tester, the 20% off all day, every day, Sportsman's Guide membership now. So it's another free $60 membership thrown in right off the bat. And the list goes on and on and on. And education. I mean, according to you, that was just a few years ago. You weren't a great angler. You didn't have all any of those spots or catches or catch logs. And look at you now. So
Nope. I do wish that you The video you talked about the other day about the rods and spending all the money and all the lures and the I don't even want to pan the camera around to show you. I have my own tackle warehouse over here on the side, and the rods on the wall over there. Those are the rods I don't use. These are the rods I don't use. It's bad.
Yeah, we get it.
It's bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, just the core. I think Bill's really just testimony of the core focus is just the club is going to help you confidently catch fish every trip.
Exactly.
And both the tools that we showed before, plus the education that we have. Every Friday, we also have a weekend game plan where we, as coaches, talk about the trends, just so you can help narrow your search to make sure that you're maximizing your valuable time on the water every single time you go out and just confidently catch fish. That's what it's all about. Fishing's fun, but it's more fun when you're catching fish. And this club is by far the best thing out there to help you truly get better. And in Bill's case, in 2 years, catching slams most trips. That's very impressive.
Pretty awesome.
Quite epic. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you. Yep. Thank you, my friend. Hopefully to see you soon, and good luck tomorrow. Everyone else, appreciate you hanging in there with us for another long podcast. I know these things are never short, but they're just so helpful. And I know a lot of you just love watching and hearing stories and find out new ways to use technology to catch more fish. So appreciate you big time, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul, it was pain.